Yeah, me too.
It's a little off-season-ish, but guess what? We're kind of in the off-season, right? Midweek baseball, not going to drive things. Obviously, a huge weekend coming up for Mississippi State, for Ole Miss, for Southern Miss. We'll get to that in a couple of days. And so give me the genesis of where you want to go here, and then we'll go.
I have a very old Dell computer. It is very old. And when it was given to me, it had a refurbished sticker on the bottom of it. That was 8 years ago.
Oh, man.
So it is a terrible computer. If I unplug the power cord from the computer, it shuts down.
Okay.
And it was going through an hour-long update this morning.
It was giving you problems at the remote the other day.
And that's all it does. So, but have you looked at the price of Macs lately? I can't afford one of those, so we're using the Dell until it's no longer usable.
Fair enough.
As it was updating this morning, I had my coffee, happened to have it in a SuperTalk mug, like not even by accident, and I was thinking, I'm going to stage a picture and then have something that will generate some content until I can get my computer running so I can do all the stuff that I do in the mornings for our social pages and the show itself. And that's just kind of what popped into my head was, you know what? Controversial sports opinions. What is your most controversial sports opinion?
All right. You can send us yours on the C Spire text line. The most controversial sports opinion by you that you have about any sport. Nothing is off limits. You can send us these on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. Time to unlimit your data with $45 unlimited only from prepaid by C Spire. Get unlimited on C Spire's nationwide 5G network for just $45 with autopay. No credit checks, no hidden fees. Learn more at cspire.com/prepaid. I have one. Would you like me to start?
Do it.
Borky, there's a touch of recency bias here. And by recency bias, I mean 45 minutes ago.
That is very recent.
That is very, very recent. But I reached my tipping point. I have discovered that there is nothing in sports that bothers me more than slow play. It bothers me if I'm watching golf. It bothers me if I'm playing golf. It bothers me in a baseball game. The sluggish slowness of a baseball game that has no rhythm to it, it's no good. So here's my unpopular sports opinion. If you are involved in slow play, you get one warning. The second time it happens, you are ejected. The third time it happens, you are executed. That's it. That is my unpopular sports opinion. I do not care what the sport is. If you are a flopper in soccer, you just slowed the game down. You get one warning, and then you are ejected from the game if it happens again, and the third time you are executed.
Are they shot on the field?
We'll work out the details later.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
If
the idea of being able to see a live execution might be a ticket seller, I don't know.
If in a college football game you fake an injury to slow things down, you are first warned, second ejected, and third executed.
Yeah, you need to
if
think about
you
who you
are
cover
a
now.
pitcher that feels the need to catch the ball coming back from the catcher halfway between home plate and the pitcher's mound, and then you need to slowly walk to the back of the pitcher's mound, and then you need to scratch, and then you need to spit, and then you need to adjust your hat, and then you need to toe the rubber, and then you need to step off, and then you need to scratch around the rubber, and then you need to step on, and then you need to shake off two signs, and then throw a ball. The first time you shall be warned. The second time you shall be ejected, and the third time you shall be ejected. If you are a hitter in baseball who feels the need to, between every single pitch, step out of the box, take 3 practice swings, adjust both batting gloves, take your helmet off, put your helmet back on, adjust both batting gloves again, step in with one foot, slowly step in with the second foot, 2 or 3 more practice swings while your backhand is up asking for time, only then are you ready to receive the pitch from the equally slow pitcher. You may be warned and then ejected, and then I think execution is it's a reasonable solution. That's my unpopular sports opinion.
We got one of those on Twitter that kind of thinks with you, and I agree so much. If you're hitting, your body, a part of your body has to stay in the box. You have to keep a foot in the box. You can step out of the box if you need to get a signal from your coach or whatever, but you have a foot in the batter's box at all times, or else you are called out. With some exceptions, like if you get a ball thrown at your head and you back off, whatever, but you get right back in the box. And a pitch clock needs to actually be enforced. You got 20 seconds to throw a pitch, and a batter can't leave the box. Telling you baseball would be more enjoyable to watch if that was the case. Mm-hmm. Enforce that. Your foot is in the box the entire time you're up to bat. And if you leave it, auto out unless you were blown back by a pitch or whatever.
I don't even feel like that's controversial. I feel like that's just reasonable.
Yeah.
Here's mine.
I mean, I could be swayed on the whole execution piece of it.
Just hobbled, you know.
Yeah.
Mine is this. And I don't know I don't know if mine's controversial. Baseball was better with steroids.
Oh.
It's
I'm just going to immediately interject and say, I'm sorry, but I think encouraging the children of our
not little league baseball. I don't want little leaguers doing it. But when you get to the majors, if you want to put something in your body and you feel it's your body, man, get after it. The way they're hitting home runs out now, imagine what they'd be doing if they were juiced.
Maybe they don't need that, though.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Just saying, don't tell me that baseball wasn't more exciting 98, 99, 2000. Don't tell me it wasn't. We all know it was.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We will continue with controversial sports opinions with you today. We're talking about your most controversial sports opinion. I have introduced execution into the conversation for slow play. I'm being slightly hyperbolic.
Let's hope.
Like I was really, I'm obviously kidding a little bit. My level of frustration in the top of the eighth inning was extreme. It was extreme. I was playing around with the whole like baseball slow play thing. Like you get one warning. What if it's the hitter's fault if you automatically called him out, regardless of the count? Hitter gets one warning within the same at bat. If there's the need for a second warning, you're out. Go to the dugout. And if a pitcher, after getting a warning, continues to slow play it, batter automatically is on base. Maybe even in scoring position. I don't know. Just thinking out loud here. Brian Haydad wants to reintroduce steroids to baseball legally. That's something. Michael Borky, I need your
You wanted controversy.
Yeah. Michael Borky, I need your most controversial sports opinion.
Don't know quite how quote-unquote controversial this is.
Okay.
But it is something that I actually believe to be true. NIL will actually clean up recruiting in college sports and has cleaned up recruiting in college sports. And here's what I mean by cleaned up. There's undoubtedly still the dirty underbelly going on where players are getting paid not to take visits. That is a familiar concept around here. I expect that to continue. Things like that are still going to happen. The under-the-table stuff is still going to happen. But I can't tell you the number of stories that we all know, some of them are public, that happened pre-NIL and recruiting. Funneling money through a hospital charity being one of them. Giving mom, dad, uncle a job that the person doesn't actually have to do any work in. Having an uncle with their hand out. You've heard about that all the time.
There's always an uncle.
A distant uncle with their hands out, and they take advantage. When I was in college, I knew of a football player whose family got a bunch of money, and he didn't get a dime. College recruiting is dirty. It's been dirty. It's always going to be dirty, but I think the concept of NIL will allow a lot of the bad actors and that kind of stuff to go away. You won't need to do that anymore. In large part, there is no hospital charity that needs to be used to funnel money. You can just pay them now. And so instead of uncle with his hand out facilitating the deals and the kid getting none of it, you have organization with direct contact with player in a above-board transaction that does not require sketchy jobs or sketchy people or sometimes criminal activity. Instead, it's cleaner. Is there more money? Probably. Is there still going to be dirty stuff? Sure. But at least now, the people that are actually putting the work in are getting the money. And I think it's cleaner now than it was before.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with that at all.
I don't think that's terribly controversial.
No.
Let's see. Let's get some of yours. If your team is down by multiple runs at the end of the game and you hit a home run and it does not affect the outcome of the game at all and you stomp home plate, then you are automatically out and your home run does not count. Okay. Instead of extra innings, a mini home run derby takes place between the number one hitter from each team. That's from Zane, I think. In Corinth? Let's see here. But MLB tied after 9. No breaking balls, no pickoff moves. Pitchers are only allowed to throw fastballs. Okay.
You would never end a baseball game. At the professional level, anyway, the games would never end, ever. If you could only throw fastballs, the games would go on forever.
Controversial sports take. Evan, no more timeouts on a field goal attempt. Ever. I mean, unless you don't have enough men on the field or something. But, I mean, he's talking about
then people would do that automatically, though, right? They would just be like, just put 10 guys out there. Go, whoa, sorry, timeout.
Okay. Well then, yeah, okay. I was just trying to be reasonable, but yeah. I mean, if you're gonna intentionally skirt the rules, hey Dad, then we're just gonna eliminate it altogether. No timeouts before field goal.
Hey man, dirtiest player in the game.
Love the execution idea. At a JUCO game this year, the opposing coach taught his pitchers to hold the ball before delivering each pitch. Totally backfired as the pitchers found no rhythm. You guys are still the best. Go Eagles, Jimmy in the Berg.
You go the John McKay route. What do you think about the execution of your team? I'm all for it.
See, this is an unpopular sports opinion, okay, from Lucas in Union. Lionel Messi is the most overrated soccer player in recent history.
Oh, God, that's just wrong.
You know, if you said Ronaldo, I'd be on board.
Yeah, Messi, no.
Because you might be right if you said Ronaldo. He's a cherry picker, man. That's what he is. He is the benefactor of opportunity and not Messi creates his opportunities.
He's great, but he's not as good as Messi.
Going back to Hey Dad and the Summer of Love baseball season, the McGuire-Sosa home run chase. 2 words from the 1998 season: corked versus juiced.
Yeah.
JP and Gula, football was a blast when there was a bounty tied to sacks. Unpopular sports opinion.
By the way, we have to amend the day Bruce Arians retired. We have to amend those takes, by the way. He was definitely forced out of Tampa by Brady. And if not for Brian Flores, Tom Brady would be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins right now, possibly with Sean Payton as his head coach.
Who said that now? Who was the guy on the show who was adamant that was the case?
They said that Brady and Leftwich, there's new reporting on this deal, by the way. It blew me away. Like, I couldn't believe
Great
it.
Reporting. Yeah.
That Leftwich and Brady would spend all week on the game plan, and Arians would come in with a red marker and just mark it all up and say, no, we're not doing any of this. And it got to the point where...
They still won a Super Bowl.
And they still won a Super Bowl. They got to a point where Brady was like, if I'm coming back, I'm not playing for that guy. Byron's going to be my offensive coordinator. He and I are going to do this, and that's final. Or else I'm not coming back. So you guys decide.
Is that why he retired in the first place?
No, he retired to get a ownership
evidently.
stake in the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. You need to find the article and read it.
It's mind-blowing.
Very detailed.
Did this all happen today?
This all came out today while you were calling baseball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing the Kids' Day game, Ole Miss and Murray State.
Yes, it's fair that you missed that, but it'll blow your mind when you read it. Tom Brady was going to have stake in the Miami Dolphins, and then Brian Flores filed a lawsuit against the team, and that derailed everything. And they were going to pursue Sean Payton to be their head coach, and the Saints probably would have said no. But then you offer a gigantic package with picks and stuff like that. And if Peyton's not going to be your coach, you might as well get something for him not being your coach. They had it all planned out. And then Flores filed his lawsuit.
Unpopular sports opinion, Lance Armstrong still deserves all 7 of his Tour de France titles.
Ooh, see, that's the kind of stuff I was looking for, because I think you're crazy, but that's what I was looking for.
I mean, juicing or not, doping or not.
Well, I mean,
he still had to ride the bike.
How many other people were juicing?
Yes.
Well,
yes, the answer is yes.
Then why did he get caught?
Yeah, he beat all the juicers. You know?
Because he was running like a fraud ring on top of the fact that he was doping.
Yeah.
Not a good
because
guy.
He raised hundreds of millions of dollars based on the idea that he was
supposed to be a feel-good story, and it turned out not to be, so people hate that.
Trying to come up with the proper word. Eunuch is not it.
Eunuch.
Luke Johnson from The Advocate covers the Saints. Will lead things off at 4:05. Kendall Rogers at 5:05 this afternoon as we get into some baseball conversation as well. Schilling, Bonds, Palmeiro, and Pete Rose all belong in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Controversial sports take.
Don't disagree with that. Not at all.
I don't either.
And put a wing of the Hall of Fame together and call it the steroid era, and then put those players in.
Yeah, it's a museum, right?
It's a museum.
We talked about this when Bonds got denied. Do we only have museums for the great stuff that has happened? No, we don't, right?
No, I think there's, yes.
So what's wrong with the sport having a museum to tell the story of the history of the sport that doesn't just show only great?
There's nothing wrong with it. Just don't tell that to the fuddy-duds that vote on the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush still deserves his Heisman.
Absolutely. Not controversial.
Reggie Bush doesn't deserve Kim Kardashian.
Well,
that's on the C Spire text line. Wait, are Reggie Bush and Kim Kardashian a thing?
They
Not
were.
Anymore, no. They were a long time ago.
Rudy was offside.
You look at the film.
Ooh. Scott's coming strong here. Cheerleading is not a sport.
Buddy, let me tell you something.
Remember when we said that band wasn't a sport? Remember the response we got? I'm not touching that one.
Let me tell you something. The kind of cheerleading that is like at NFL games, fine. Although they dance and they work hard and all that, I hear you. But like Ole Miss cheerleading just won the national championship recently, right? If I remember correctly. It's not like I follow the team, but I think they did. What they do, though, is a sport. The competition level cheerleading is absolutely a sport.
I watched a whole bunch of girls that are in 6th grade work toward and try and get ready for dance team and cheerleading tryouts. Those little girls work their butts off.
And the throwing them up in the air.
Athleticism,
all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
But I like that you came with that, though. That's the kind of stuff I was looking for today.
Somebody said, heck, there's a Pearl Harbor Museum. You were talking about there are museums for bad things. Yeah. You must have at least 3 years of college baseball before being eligible for the Major League Baseball draft.
I'll tell you what, man. The more, and this is a conversation maybe for a different day or maybe even for today if we've got time. I'm not going to try to lie to you guys and say that NIL is going to start becoming huge in college baseball because it won't. But if you've got a guy that's a draft pick that usually you wouldn't recruit because they're going to go, or you would recruit, but, they're just not going to sign with you, they're going to go play. When you look at the numbers already, college players get to the major leagues more than the guys that sign right out of high school anyway. That already happens. That phenomenon already exists. And the more you read about how pathetic they treat their minor leaguers and the life that those guys have to live, signing for a $300,000 signing bonus sounds really nice, right? When you consider that going to college is already a better path anyway, and the fact that you can make some money while going to college, you're going to start seeing these prospects end up in college more so than you ever have before. So if there's a little, especially in this state where we care, right? If there's a little bit of NIL money that they can earn while they're in school, you're going to see some guys turn down big signing bonuses to go to college because the life is a heck of a lot better. It gives you a better path to the majors, and you can make some money. It's going to start happening.
It should happen. I agree. We'll see.
Controversial sports take: poker should not be on ESPN.
I would rather poker than the crap that they air lately.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith or poker over Stephen A. Smith. Come on.
Controversial opinion: Aaron Donald is the most overrated player in the NFL.
Now we have controversy.
Below average against the run and average sack numbers this past season.
Buddy,
man,
I like the fire.
Stephen A. must have gotten to the text line. That's his kind of take. Good Lord. That's some Bayless level heat.
NASCAR is not a sport.
Oh, goodness. Don't tell Gary.
I remember years ago when that conversation was had on this show, and buddy, that was not received well.
Lucas and Union, instead of doing a traditional extra hole playoff in golf, the participants get to choose their opponent's clubs, and you're limited to 3. Kind of making a mockery of what has happened for the previous 72 holes, but okay. Let's see here. NFL needs to contribute money to college football because they use it as a farm system.
That's an interesting take. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't know how controversial it is, but that's an interesting idea.
The NFL, though, will never do that when they look at Texas's budget of over $200 million.
That's true, too.
Well, why am I giving you money when look at what you're printing right now?
David, controversial sports. Oh, wait. I don't think that goes. I mean, this would go here. I don't think it is. If Dan had just beaten Ole Miss on his way out of town, State fans would love him.
He's right. You're right.
That actually fits, but this was not. That was not for this topic.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's not controversial either. If State had won that last Egg Bowl, yeah, Dan Mullen would probably still be revered.
David says, I've got 2 boys playing baseball. My daughter in cheer works 10 times harder than the boys. Cheer is a sport.
Yeah, there was First Take did that, or whatever Max Kellerman's doing now. I don't know, whatever. Where he said he doesn't consider Tiger Woods an athlete, and
so dumb.
They thrive off that kind of stupidity because that's such a subjective conversation, right? Define athlete. What is an athlete then? If you don't consider him a great athlete, then what is an athlete? Well, it's just such a subjective, goofy conversation that they thrive. That's what they do.
Is Forrest Gump the greatest athlete of all time?
I mean, a All-American football player and then a world-class ping pong player.
Not to mention a marathoner.
I mean, he never actually ran marathons. He was the first ultra marathoner, the first one to do these off road things.
No, he did run marathons. He just didn't stop at 26.2.
Right.
He just kept on going.
He got to 6,000.2.
Yeah, something along those lines. Ooh, controversial sports take. Softball is better to watch than baseball.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
If you've never watched a softball game before, I think you would be pleasantly surprised. It may not be your cup of tea. I know, like, the chanting and stuff, I get it. And it's definitely not played like baseball, right? Slap hitting and stuff like that. But it's a fast game. I mean, they play quick.
2 hours.
It is quick, man. They move. I mean, they move through games. It's a very fast pace. I think you would kind of be surprised that you enjoy it a little bit.
It's great for families.
Oh yeah, bring the kids out there for
bring the kids
$5.
to the softball game. It's a great thing.
A couple more of these. Shaq Pulley in Biloxi. Pro golfers should carry their own clubs.
Ooh, that's interesting. I like it.
Tiger would not have completed 72 holes last week.
It is interesting. That's not the only, and I'm not saying this person doesn't believe that, but a caddy's job is not just carry the clubs. They are far more important than that.
Forrest Gump was also a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient.
And nobody at the stop sign or at the bus stop believed him at all.
I get a message on my phone from a buddy. Forrest Gump versus Bo Jackson, greatest athlete of all time. There's a debate.
And that's Alabama versus Auburn, too. You got a good Iron Bowl storyline there.
Yeah. All right. There's so many of these coming in.
You left one earlier. I'll say it because it's Ole Miss related. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, that the Grove is a detriment because people don't go to games.
The Grove is a detriment to Ole Miss football because people go to the Grove and don't go to the game.
I think that's less of a thing than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Although I've not been in the Grove during a game in 20 years, probably. So maybe it's still a big thing. I don't know. I just feel like people that want to go to the game, and people that don't.
Makes it easier to leave early, I would guess.
It may be a detriment to football, but it is a huge net positive for the university.